Harlan's through, he might go for it, still going, trying to barge his way through, goes to the shot, what a goal!
Arriving, Rian O'Neill from an almost impossible angle, and that's the rousing score Armagh were looking for.
Conor Turbin kicks this one in, that's absolutely superb.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. We have a bit of a different show for you today as we're chatting to Armagh coach and former Armagh captain Ciaran McKeever. Armagh GA have teamed up with Game Sense Coaching and they're hosting a workshop on Saturday the 4th of May from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at St Paul's High School, Bestbrook. So I'm going to discuss, Ciaran McKeever, the benefits of teaming up with this workshop and how coaches will hugely benefit from attending. Anybody that wishes to attend, the link to book your ticket is on the Armagh GA website and Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page, and other social media platforms. There'll be all of our social media platforms as well, and they'll be on our YouTube description on Spotify as well. So anybody listening in that wants to book on, make sure to do so. We'll be back on Saturday morning. We'll have our club roundup after all the games taking place on Thursday and Friday, and we'll have another review show hopefully on Saturday evening from the Armagh and Down Ulster semi-final. So make sure to keep tuned for all our podcasts coming up in the coming days, and make sure to follow us on YouTube, on Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. So we'll hear from Ciaran now, and we'll hopefully chat to you soon on Saturday. Ciaran, we're looking ahead to the coaching course that Armagh has provided coming up next Saturday in St Paul's Bestbrook. I suppose coaching courses and all that as your role as a coach now, how important are these coaching courses and how important are they for club coaches and everybody to attend?
Yeah, look, I suppose on behalf of the Armagh Coaching and Games, we've put this coaching workshop in place because, coming back out of the survey that went out to clubs at the start of the year towards the Armagh 5-year strategic plan, there was a lot of emphasis that was coming back to us on that regards was upskilling coaches and clubs between various different things, and I suppose throughout the month of March we ran a lot of internal Armagh courses in South Armagh, North Armagh, Mid Armagh, and now we're branching out to a bigger workshop where we have Game Sense and the Lavin brothers coming up from Limerick, and this is something the clubs asked for in Armagh. It's something that we were hoping to deliver on behalf of the Armagh Coaching and Games, and just stress the importance of trying to make all of us better as coaches and trying to make our youth players and our clubs better, and hopefully that will stand us in good stead down the track.
I don't know, yourself, Ciaran, we were just speaking off air, you attended a lot of coaching courses yourself and stuff, even still as a player with, your eye on retirement and what to do after retirement. So these coaching courses, they're so important for even people still playing that, in future you always pick something out of them.
Yeah, look, I suppose as when I was still playing, that's a long time ago now, I always had a big grasp for coaching, and stuff that was implemented on the training field whenever I was playing. You always would have went home and written down, and you would have looked back at, and you maybe would have added your own thoughts to it and how maybe you could have developed it, and and that's still the case. When I was playing, I would have travelled the length and breadth of Ireland to try and develop because I knew that's the route I was going to go down. And I remember one Wednesday night driving to Leitrim to watch a session that Donny Buckley done. And these wee things and I'd still travel. I was in Kerry. In December there was a workshop on. I was in it. Trying to learn, trying to develop. And that's the key thing about this. Nobody has all the right answers. There's a huge growth for networking and learning. Within the GA. And I think it's important to do. And you're always going to get something from these coaching workshops to try and make you better, your team better, and the players better that you have at your disposal.
And you're talking about going to Leitrim and going to Kerry for coaching courses. The Armagh coaches are lucky there's going to be one in Armagh, so they don't have to travel as much to get that sort of insight.
Yeah, look, that's why we're trying to provide this, because you see other counties running these, and it's something that the Armagh clubs Armagh coaches have asked for, from a coaching and games perspective, and we're delivering that now to them, so it's on our doorstep, and I think it's important that we try to encourage our coaches in our clubs to come to today on Saturday the 4th of May in St Paul's Bestburg, and we're lucky that we have the knowledge that's coming up the road from the Game Sense Lavin brothers, that have worked underneath Paul Kinnerk, that is the head of coaching in the Limerick hurling team at the minute, and we all see where Limerick hurling is and how far they've advanced, and that has all come back off Paul Kinnerk's his approach to game-based training, and so there's going to be a lot of expertise on the day, with the Lavin brothers that have worked underneath Paul, and we're lucky they're very hard to get. There's a number of meetings set up to try and get them across the line, and we're lucky to have them in Armagh on Saturday the 4th of May in St Paul's Bestburg.
I suppose tell us a bit about what will be at the actual day, Ciaran, because I know the Game Sense website is used by a lot of coaches, I'd say, within the county already. It's very useful. I know they're going to show templates of training sessions and how to build a training session and stuff. So what can people going to the coaching course expect?
Yeah, I suppose the boys are coming up and they're running 2 sessions. They're coming up, and that morning session is going to entail around skill development through games, where they're going to be working with our Academy on the 14 squad on the morning. They'll come in and they'll give a brief presentation indoors to all the coaches and what the outcomes of the session should look like. And then they're going to take that out and they're going to execute it with the Armagh Academy on the 14 squad on the pitch. And then we'll have a short lunch and a bit of coffee and scones and biscuits, hopefully, and the coaches can network. And then in the afternoon, we're lucky enough to have Ciara Cruppen on the 16s coming down to St Paul's Bestburg. And same again, the Lavin brothers will be implementing games-based approach through small-sided games, and they'll take all the coaches back inside, run a presentation on the outcomes of the games-based approach through small-sided games, and they could take the Ciara Cruppen on the 16s out onto the pitch and run the session. So there's going to be loads of knowledge, loads of nuggets, and loads of new ideas for the coaches on the morning.
And Ciaran, your own coaching journey, I suppose you retired in 2017 and you went straight into coaching once you quit playing. So how have you enjoyed it over whatever 6 or 7 years now you're involved in it?
Yeah, look, I suppose when I was still playing, I was doing a bit of coaching, on the nights that I was off. I would have delved a lot into coaching. I would have coached a lot in Loud, one night a week with teams up there, just bouncing in and out and implementing sessions, just implementing ideas that that I had in my own head, and then I retired in 2017, and that's the route I went, and it's been lots of learning curves. I've coached. I've spent 4 years with Mayo Bridge in County Down, and that was a great experience for me. And thankfully I had, and then back home with my own club, helping out Stephen Reel and the boys, and obviously we had great success last year, but in previous 2 years to that there we had hard times, but it's taking all the learnings from that and trying to better yourself and trying to better the people around you, and I think we did that over this last couple of years in Cullyhanna. And probably one of the big things that that we did that probably nobody would know in Armagh or outside of Armagh was 2 years ago we put all our players through foundation and level 1 coaching, and the reason behind that was that we wanted the players to have an understanding of what preparation goes in from a coaching perspective and a management perspective to win the training, and how to plan and prep for training. We put our players through that 2 years ago, and hoping that we could get, I wouldn't say a better buy-in, but the players would turn up to training better prepared and better educated on the feel of what we're trying to implement. And look, we think that we got huge benefits from it, and I know the players did from listening and chatting to them, so look, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but there's things that you have to do if you want to better yourself as a coach, want to better yourself as a manager, and you want to better the players around you and try and take people along with you. And I just think they're worthwhile exercises, and you're always going to pick up stuff from them, and even myself to date, I still try to better myself, and contact other sports to try to get in for one-day events, to try and learn from different sports, and just I think it's a huge that none of us have all the answers, unfortunately, and I think it's hugely important that you try to always stay above the curve and try and always develop.
I suppose how important is that, Ciaran, in terms of these coaching courses, and maybe if you take one thing away from what the coaches are showing, but even sharing ideas with somebody that's sitting beside you, or something like that, like just bouncing ideas off other coaches, like that's important too, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I think in the GA world we're paranoid, we think, that we have all the answers, and that, you think you're giving something away, but look, you're just trying to better yourself, and you're hoping, that I think we're getting more open in the GA world, that we are starting to share and have more talking about coaching amongst different coaches from other counties, and I think that's only a good thing, because we're going to make our game better, we're going to make our players better, and ultimately we're going to make all the coaches around us better, because they'll want to improve, and get better. And I think the more we share, and the knowledge that we have, and the more we get exposed to that from these workshops till our coaches within our counties and the coaches within our clubs, it can only improve the standard right across the board.
And we mentioned Cullyhanna, and I'm assuming that day in Croke Park in January, when you got over the line on All-Ireland, that's the highlight of the coaching career, or maybe your football career so far, is it?
Yeah, look, it's mad to think, that, not that I haven't really looked, I haven't even watched the game back, probably the next 3 or 4 days after that was a blur, and then I come out of that and I was straight back into Armagh, so I haven't really got a chance to delve into it or sit back and think about it. But the odd time you do be driving and you daydream about it, and to be honest, you still pinch yourself and ask yourself, did it really happen? But look, there were massive memories, with a couple of tough years in Cullyhanna. We lost a lot of good people in the village. It's something that we probably hung on to as a group, that we wanted to give the people of Cullyhanna something to look forward to. And it's something that we really delved into over the winter months to try and shorten the winter for the people of Cullyhanna, but look, we rode our luck along the way at times, but the thing for us is that, we move on, we're back to senior now, we're just concentrating this year, but the thing for us is, in 20 years time, 25 years time, hopefully we can all meet up and look each other in the eye, we'll have a pint, and we have something to really cling on to and grasp it, and it was a special time. But look, until that happened, until 20 years down the line, we'll just have to keep moving with the times.
And Ciaran, as we're talking, we're in the middle of the Ulster Championship and a couple of days out from the Ulster semi-final, and I'm sure it's easier looking forward to these games as a player than it is as a coach. You only have to worry about yourself as a player, but a coach, you have a lot of different things in your mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, these are special days, as a player or part of a management team, this is what all the sacrifices are for, getting ready for days like this Saturday, Ulster semi-finals. I've been lucky to played my part as a player in these occasions. It is different when you're a manager, as you said, as a player you only had to concentrate on yourself. Now you have, sitting up there in the meeting room, you have 40 boys to consider, and you have to make you're hoping you're making the right choices for the betterment of that 40 and the betterment of the management team, and obviously the betterment of the people of Armagh, and that's where we're at, and hopefully on Saturday we can go and produce the goods.
Good stuff, Ciaran, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Hurlings through, he might go for it, still going, trying to barge his way through, goes to the shot, what a goal!
Arriving Rian O'Neill from an almost impossible angle, and that's the rousing score Armagh we're looking for.
Connor Turbin kicks this one in, and it's absolutely superb.